Hey there and welcome. If you're a parent, a coach, a teacher, anyone trying to connect with kids today, it can seriously feel like you're speaking a completely different language, right? Well, today, we're going to ditch the confusion. We're building a real, practical blueprint to help you find their frequency and build a connection that actually lasts. And this quote from Dr. O, man, it just hits right at the heart of it, doesn't it? It's this feeling that's just universal. The teen feels totally misunderstood, and the parent is over there just trying so hard to get it. That disconnect, that's what we're here to tackle. So the big question is, how do we bridge that gap? We're going to move way beyond just talking at them. We're laying out a step-by-step guide to finally, truly connect with them.
But first, before we get to the how, we really have to get our heads around the why. Because honestly, in the world we live in today, the stakes of getting this wrong have never, ever been higher.
We tend to think about harm in terms of, scraped knees or broken bones. But words can be these invisible weapons, a sarcastic comment, a dismissive wave of the hand. We might forget it in 5 minutes, but for them, it can leave this deep, unseen emotional scar that's way harder to heal than any physical wound.
Just think about how normal some of these can sound. Why can't you be more like your brother? Or, oh, you're just being too sensitive. These phrases we might toss out without a thought, they can become these tiny little cuts that, over time, add up to some really big emotional wounds.
And here's the modern twist on all of this. When kids don't feel that safe, solid connection at home, they're going to look for it somewhere else. It's just human nature. And in the 21st century, somewhere else is almost always online. It's in the world of screens. And the danger here is it's huge. This isn't just about them wasting time. No, the research is absolutely clear that too much screen time physically changes a developing brain. It can decrease memory and language skills, shrink their attention span, and make it harder for them to manage their own emotions. So get this, the part of the brain that's in charge of good judgment, impulse control, and thinking about consequences, the prefrontal cortex, it isn't fully baked until age 25. 25. So we're handing these super powerful dopamine-pumping devices to kids whose brains literally aren't built to handle them yet.
So if the digital world is that tempting and potentially that harmful, how do we even compete? Well, you don't fight fire with fire. You build something better. You build a connection so strong that it becomes their anchor in the world. And that all starts by shifting our role from being a controller to being a cultivator.
I think a lot of us were raised with this painter model, right? The idea that our child is a blank canvas, and it's our job to paint them into a masterpiece. But that whole approach is really about control. The Gardner model is such a powerful shift. It sees our kid as a unique seed. Our job isn't to force them into a shape we want, but to create the absolute best environment, the right soil, the right amount of water and sun, so they can grow into the amazing person they're already meant to be.
And that's the whole goal of being a gardener. To become their safe space. This isn't a room in your house, it's a feeling. It's the rock-solid knowledge in a kid's heart that no matter how badly they mess up, no matter what they fail at, they can always come back to you and find love and support, not judgment. That is the single greatest gift we can give them.
Okay, so let's get practical. Creating a safe space sounds wonderful, but how do you actually do that in the middle of a crazy Tuesday afternoon when there's homework to do and the kitchen's a mess? Let's open up the toolkit.
The most important tool in the whole box is listening. But here's the thing, there are levels to it. Level 1 is at surface hearing. We're scrolling on our phone, nodding along, but not a single word is sinking in. Now, level 2 is where most of us live. We're hearing them, but it's all happening in our head. We're judging, planning our brilliant reply, getting ready to solve their problem. But real connection, that only happens at level 3, listening from the heart, where your only goal, your only job, is to understand the feeling behind what they're saying. Let's try an example. Your kid says, "Mom, my friend has a boyfriend now." Okay, a level 2 response, listening from your head, jumps right to advice or judgment. You're way too young for that, or you should be focused on school. See how that shuts the door? But a level 3 response tries to hear the feeling. Are they excited? Curious? A little jealous? So you just ask, "Oh, really? How do you feel about that?" That one simple question blows the door wide open for a real conversation. Now, this next tool, honestly, this is a total game changer. It's the difference between you messages and I messages. You messages are basically accusations. They start with you, and they immediately put the other person on defense. You are so irresponsible. But I messages build a bridge. They start with how we feel.
It's not an attack. It's sharing something vulnerable, like, I was so worried. And that invites teamwork instead of a fight.
So when you're stuck, when you feel that lecture about to bubble up, just pause, take a breath, and try one of these questions. They're like magic phrases because they hand the power back to your kid. They send a huge message of trust, of respect, and a belief that they are capable of figuring things out, with you right there as their backup. Now, after hearing all this, I know some of you might be thinking, oh, great, another checklist of things I'm probably messing up. But let's be super, super clear about something. This is not about being a perfect parent. Spoiler alert, there's no such thing.
The goal is not perfection. It is connection. We're human. We're going to get tired. We're going to get frustrated. We're going to yell. We're going to say the wrong thing, listen from level 2, and use a you message. It's going to happen. The magic isn't in never making a mistake. The magic is in what we do after we make one.
Honestly, learning how to repair a relationship is one of the most powerful skills we can ever model for our kids. And it's a simple 3-step process. First, just own what you did. I shouldn't have yelled. Second, give a real, sincere apology. And that means no buts. I'm sorry, but you. That's not an apology, that's just more blame. And finally, state your intention to do better. This shows them that people can grow and that relationships are strong enough to survive our mistakes. And as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this thought because it's a powerful one. This really intense, all-in phase of parenting, it's temporary. One day, they're going to have their own lives, their own homes. Our job title will change. What's going to last forever is the feeling they carry with them. The memory and the meaning we're building right now, today. That's the foundation they'll stand on for the rest of their lives.
So my question for you is simple. You don't have to change everything all at once. But what is one small thing you can start today? Just one. Maybe it's trying to listen from the heart for 5 minutes, or turning one you message into an I message, or maybe just asking, how can I support you? Because that one small change, that could be the start of everything. Thanks for being here.